Anytime I create something new in the game, I'm used to take a small video or a small GIF or a screenshot. I have a lot of them. I try to go chronologically so we can really see the evolution. So we're gonna take a look in there first. Well, a lot of crap. So that's the first mock-up of the game. I think it was really fun to make a management strategy game in a resolution like this. My idea was you can see only one tile. And you can see also at the bottom, see this grid of white dots and green and red dots? That was a map. That are some notes. What are the grid mechanics? So basically, what can I do that is fun with a grid? So that's the first thing I made. That was actually just to see if I could use the tile map and have this light in the middle that only show you a few cells. At some point, I started to make like tiny design documents in pixel art. It was just fun, you know. Okay, so here you can see the movement. Like we can see the resources. Seems to work. I can move around on the map. I have forest, meadow, mountain, plain, and I can cut trees. Yeah, so here's the first ship, guys. But I guess I'm gonna breed it. Yeah, I breed the ship and I slaughter it. So yeah, that was the ship. That's funny because you can really see that a lot of stuff that is in the final game was really already here. That's a sound test about the different environment sound for each type of tiles. And the music, I'm actually impressed to see that the music too is already here. Oh, that was a timer test. So at some point I realized it was important to tell the player which day it was. And here's the first adjacency bonus. So here the windmill is getting additional resources from the adjacent wheat field. You can now upgrade buildings. So here you could upgrade the wheat field, in a windmill. But I removed that at some point because the windmill is just like a useful building to have between wheat fields. Because the windmill was an upgrade of the wheat field, players would actually upgrade all of their wheat fields in windmill because they felt like it's an upgrade. It's better for sure. It has to be better. But no, it's crap to have windmills adjacent to each other. This is just the game without the light that keep you from seeing everything. So as you can see in the first version, it was really, really important to have the light because it really looks like crap if you see everything, and you can't read the UI again. Yeah, and this one is with the light. As you can see, looks much better. And here you can see I really changed the darkness. It's not those blocky tiles anymore. It's like those little pixels. And to be honest, I really liked how the fire particles and the darkness particles looked at the time. And we'll see later on that it becomes ugly when I increase the resolution. One interesting thing we can see here is at the bottom you can see +1 population. Because it was really hard to decide how to show to the player what a building is giving you. Here you can see a new attempt at the adjacency bonus that looks really ugly. But, well, you really can't miss it, right? Here's one with the sawmill. As you can see, I'm changing the icons almost every frame. All of the time I'm changing the icons. So here's the adjacency with the town hall. Then I have the lighthouse that generates light from the sea, and the castle, which at the time was really strong because one interesting thing to notice is that so far buildings only produce resources. They don't consume anything. That's important because at some point you'll see when I start to consume stuff because I realized it's really hard to balance a game where the player can only produce stuff. So that's just a plane. Not sure what I wanted to show here. We can see like it's really, yeah, the 64 by 64 resolution. It's a bit hard to play in this. I mean, everything is really big. And we can see the red darkness. So at the time when you were attacked, it was completely random. So a bit hard to predict. And it was the same color. But at some point I changed the color to red. And one interesting thing to say is that you might not see that it's red on your screen right now. Because for a long time, the game was way too dark. And that's because my screen, which I still have, is so saturated. I can see a lot of colors. So here I can clearly see the red. But most screen don't. Main theme. So that's a video. Okay, I think that was for a tweet. Oh, I have a folder with all of the design I talked about. So those are GIF actually, because I would share them on Twitter. So as you can see, the design for the town hall, with the cost, what you can build on, what it gives you, etc. And yeah, I have one for the windmill and the farm. And as you can see, it's all just inside a sprite. So I was not kidding. I'm really doing this in the sprite. My idea was to have an encyclopedia of sorts. Okay, so we are done with this. So that was almost entirely during the game jam, and maybe a bit after that. It's crazy because at the time, I really thought that I would like work a month or two on the game and just release it like this. So with this resolution, those styles and all. And it's crazy because, yeah, the game is really different now. So that's, again, just to listen to the sounds. But this time I added transitions. You can hear it's fading, actually, between the two sounds. Before it would, like, cut right away. Okay, so that was the menu, guys, because there wasn't a menu. So I added the menu to continue and such. I think the only button working is continue, and maybe the quit button. Save, load and all is just for looking clever, but they don't work. Yeah, I started to include research into the game. So you need the research to build the house, you need the research to hunt more food, you need the research to build the town hall and such. The idea was to be sure that you can't build everything from the start, because it's really important in this game to not have like a lot of choices in the menu, especially in this version, because as you can see in this version you can only see one action at a time. You can see all the actions, so it was really important. And fun fact, the research are done in the observatory, because at the time I thought the observatory was just like a lab or something. Yeah, sure. Oh, okay. So that's like the main menu actually, where you could choose the difficulty, the scenario. Hey, yeah, starting to take shape at this point. Whoa. So we are way in the future here because, yeah, the resolution has been increased in this one. I wanted to show the CRT effect that I quite like, but I know a lot of people don't like. So, and yeah, as you can see, it's now in the classic 16:9 aspect ratio, and with a lot of resolution. And look at the darkness, how it looks like crap now that it's high resolution. And I'm sorry to say that darkness is going to look like crap for a long time. Actually, the whole game is going to look like crap for a long time. Yeah, it was a bit hard to work in this. I wasn't really organized at the time in the code. Have different languages. Here you go, guys. I added quests to the game. But that's how the quests were created. And the name of this image is like better quest system, please. It's like a message for me. Like I'm asking myself to make a better quest system, and it's actually it's the same. It didn't change. Yeah, I'm still doing the quest like this in the script with a lot of codes and all, and I don't think it's gonna change. Well, maybe it's gonna change because it's actually really bad to do this for saving. And that's why you still can't save the game now. Because I did a lot of stuff that are horrible for a saving system. Interesting. So you can see that the action menu is now on the bottom right. And the description are now in the bottom left. So yeah, it's really funny how the HUD, the HUD, is changing over time. And you can see the timer ticking around, and the materials are now hammers. I actually really like this one. But yeah, treasure, guys. One funny thing about the treasure, people thought that when you open the treasure, it spawns a desert. So actually people didn't like finding treasure. They were like, oh no, it's gonna spawn a desert, that's bad. They wouldn't know what the treasure gives them. Even though you can clearly see here, it's giving 5 light, 10 food and all, but people were so focused on the chest that they wouldn't look at this. Later on, I would move that action menu in the center because I knew that people were focused on the middle. It was important to keep the menu in the middle, even though it's really hard to have the menu in the middle. And I would also add little icons, resource icons, when you gained resources. So people still don't look at this, at the resources at the top, but they look at the treasure and see the little wood particles, and they guess that, oh, okay, I'm getting wood. And they don't realize that they actually also get light. But that's another problem. Oh, that's what I was talking about. Little resource icon when you collect stuff. That's cool. HUD test 1. We will see so much of this. Like screenshot of me trying stuff with the HUD, with the HUD. All my UI, all my HUD was inside this one big file. So now it's not, but I think the file is still big. So that was one of the first attempts to make the game look better. And from now on, we are in 2023. At this point, I was realizing, thanks to the playtest, that I couldn't really sell this game like this. And I also started to get really excited about the game. I started to think I could do something more, something bigger. Not just a 2-month game. So at this point, I really started to change a lot of things. On the top right of the screen, you can see descriptions. I started adding descriptions to buildings because a lot of people in the playtest asked for it. But I ended up removing them because, again, my goal was to have as less text as possible. You must be able to understand what the building is doing just by knowing the name of the building, okay? Everything must be really simple. You don't need to read description anytime you have a new building. That was the idea. So that's the first video actually we see of the new version with the new pixel art. Crazy, right? I mean, at this point I was like, wow, the game looks so different. Here I started to use this highlight for the adjacency bonus because I was still using the ugly green thing that was like way too visible and ugly. I added in the action wheel, it's red if you can't build it. At the top, the numbers are red because you don't have enough. And I added notes, little stories about the game. It's a really big step actually. And that's when I added the curiosities. If there is an interesting thing, I just add a question mark. They are really important because before there wasn't anything you could rely on to know where you should go. The mini games, guys. So now when doing some actions, you have those little mini games and you can get more resources when doing them. Yeah, that was a big thing because it really changed the identity of the game. Like, I think a lot of people will remember Lueur because it was this simple strategy builder game with mini games in it. Oh, so two big things. There is no light. Remember that before we couldn't see the whole map. We could only see the center. Okay? Now we can see everything. And we have ground. We have like those squares. That was a big step. At this point, the game really started to get better visually. And I would start to make tweets that got a lot of likes because the game was basically looking way better. Oh, and that was one of the first tests on the Switch. But yeah, as you can see, it was not working great. Really low frame rate. That's why I optimized the game afterwards. Another big change in Lueur. Frames. Look. Dialogues, guys. So you have this little Lueur and dialogues. And choices, actually. Wow, a lot of stuff at the same time. So the light mine is a building that doesn't cost a lot of light. And if darkness attack the light mine, see? The light mine destroy the darkness. I removed it from the game because people wouldn't understand how it worked. And also, it's not really balanced. But it will come back at some point, I'm sure. My game is gonna give you an event every few turns, depending on your buildings. It's always gonna make sure you don't have too many events, too many dialogues like this at any time. Oh yeah, I was so proud. I loved it so much when I did this in the game. So now you don't see the cell with darkness, but just pop up, like they appear like this when you illuminate. Oh, and another big thing I did after this is the fact that you can see what's under darkness. That's actually really important because it makes the game so much fun. Like the exploration is so much fun with this because you know what you're gonna illuminate, but you don't know what you're gonna discover. Okay, so that's because the dialogue now is animated. See, it's typing thing. We even have colors in the text. That's just the forest style. And at this point, I really was thinking about marketing. I didn't have a Steam page yet, but I was thinking about, getting followers and such. So I was starting to work on things I could show on Instagram and everything. So I created the Discord in February, as you can see. So before you could go in the test room and play every mini games. It still exists, actually. I still use it sometimes. I think that was my first tweet, like big tweet on Screech on Saturday or something that collected a lot. Like more than 1,000 likes was a lot for me because I was used to get only 10 likes a tweet or something. And look, the waterfall. Kind of cool, right? Unfortunately, I had to remove it. You can find baby bears and a bear, and you can kill them or tame them. So that's when I started to record a little bit less of stuff, showing everything. Also, there was a lot of, bug fixing and stuff. Oh, that's the new menu. I was talking about how I don't like doing menus and stuff. So my menu is a map of the game. So that's the first version of the menu, actually. See? But it's just a map of the game. The menu is a map of the game. So, yeah, again, a lot of people don't like this because it's less practical than the classic standard menu that everyone has. But I think it's like memorable. You will remember this. It's fun and it's still usable, Oh, and that was for TikTok, I think. So just a scene with the ties that appear like this. And that's the new menu. Well, not the new menu, but a newer menu. So as you can see, all the options are here. CRT, music, full screen, the buttons to play, and I added like buildings on the square. That's another theme. That's one with the lighthouse. As you can see, it's squared. because it's cool on Twitter to have a squared video. Here I added the zoom in and zoom out. That's all. Here I added the perfect. So if you shoot everyone, wow, you have a perfect. So that's not the final thing. That was a placeholder, the little wow. So a lot of people really like what I did for the credits. So developer is me. And then you have the playtesters and all. And they all have their little tile. Yeah, that's another test of with the HUD. Oh! So, like, I tried to make a level editor in 30 minutes or something, and I didn't get it right. So that's just the checklist complete from the Steam page. That's more stuff about the HUD. As you can see, I came back to something with frames that are more discrete, and the actions are at the bottom. In this one, description is here, actions are here, resources are here. Yeah, you can see the resources that are going down, just to really, so that you can really see what resources are used by the action. Oh, that's a gift from my mother. She made that for my birthday. See? With the Lueur character and Nuit. That's just me and my cat. So I've learned to program with one hand only because of this cat. That's the voice of Lueur. Lueur has a voice now, and we are in April. And yeah, I did the voice myself. And obviously I remixed it a lot with Audacity. Okay, in this one, pretty long, I'm just playing the game with a Guitar Hero pad. I show you this, but it's again a secret. So in the first level, if you lose, you actually have this mini game that will give you a lot of light. And with this, well, you can beat the level. So you can't really lose the first level. That's the new light hole. I really like this one. I think I did a great job. New menu again. I like to show my menu. I really like my menu. I'm always doing videos. But here you have all of the new sprites. So it's looking way better. Okay, that's just a vote of... I asked players what were their favorite rewards between all of those. And the favorite reward are new game skins. Yeah, my favorite one is cheats and world modifiers. This is just a photo a playtester sent me, and the playtester played the game on the Steam Deck, and that was the first time I've seen my my game cover like this on the Steam Deck. I was really happy. Oh, and here I was starting to test a menu that would be in the center of the screen. So those were the first tests. I don't see other games with a menu like this in the middle. So this is pretty rough. How many of those I have? Oh, now there is a highlight, just so you can see it a little better. I really struggled at the time to keep a HUD that was really simple. If a new player is coming to the game, the player really needs to be not afraid of the game. Like seeing tons of numbers and be like, oh, okay, it's too complicated for me. Find the menus with animations, with the little cursor that is moving. The cursor kind of bounces when you move. The cursor is breathing now. So that's a scene for marketing with the orcs. This is another thing to show the pyramid. This is to show that you can trade in the currency, but not the same way as in the market. It's not a trader that goes and come back. Here it's like permanent trading. You can start and stop the trade. So we are done, guys. We've seen every video and GIFs I have. Obviously we have some parts that are missing. So I hope you guys like this. Let me know in the comments, actually. And don't hesitate to subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this, to see the lives. Don't hesitate to join the Discord to join my supporters on Ko-fi. My supporters on Ko-fi have access to weekly videos. So I make a video every week with every changes to the game and all. Yeah, I think we're gonna stop there. You're gonna have the OBS screen. Oh no, I think I will do a magic trick. Ready? We'll see if that works.